Hey, friends. Well, I'm kind of back to an oldie but a goodie as far as my uh, spontaneous psychic strokes of inspiration go. Um, because I've had a couple of experiences recently and a couple of conversations, interactions, and whatnot that have reminded me of this principle that I know I've talked about before. I don't remember the last time I mentioned it. I probably talked about it multiple times on this post. But essentially, this idea that problems are our friend and that we spend so much of our time wishing they would go away, right? Like, how many of us wake up in the morning and watch a kind of psychic weight or the whatever it is we're wrestling with, whatever our problem du jour happens to be, let that settle in, and then just feel an abiding, profound gratitude for the fact that I still have all this credit card debt, or that I'm in a fight with my partner, or that my car needs a repair that I can't afford. I don't know. I'm just coming up with stuff. But like, how often do we feel these things and go, thank you. You know, not so easy, right? Not so easy. And at the same time, again, sort of over the last few days, I've just had this recurring set of experiences that just keep driving home the point. These are our friends. Our problems are our friends. They are and the thing about it is, we all that time that we spend wishing they would go away, which is different than engaging with them and actually solving them, right? I mean, solving a problem, obviously nothing wrong with that. We don't want to act like that's not a good thing, or that's not something that we should get excited about. But wishing that they would go away, wishing that we didn't have this problem, is very different than receiving it and being grateful for it, and then while still in the act of gratitude, moving into possible solutions. But if we're still in the phase where we're trying to kind of eject this foreign, unpleasant thing from our experience, all that time we're actually missing the real lesson, the real kind of like incredible miracle that's taking place, because these problems are things our soul or deeper self or karmic body, however we want to think of it, has asked for. We have sent a message to the universe requesting this problem, because something about this experience is an opportunity for us. So all problems are an opportunity, but because they don't necessarily feel like that, they don't feel like opportunities in the sense that we think of opportunities, which is like something attractive that seems to be inviting us somewhere that we want to go, right? Obviously, those kinds of opportunities. We don't wish they would go away. We say, yes, thank you, I love you, yay, here I go, diving into you. And but our problems, for whatever reason, I don't know, we just don't feel the same way about them. But the truth is, they're exactly the same thing. They are exactly the same thing. They're actually giving us an opportunity. And furthermore, the kind of zinger that has showed up over the last couple of days, and that has kind of prompted me to feel like saying something about it again, is the fact that we've asked for them. That's the part that it's just, if we can remember that, this is because I'll have stuff come up. It happens regularly. I mean, there's hardly a day goes by that something doesn't come up where I momentarily forget that I've asked for all my problems, right? It's almost always there's enough distraction in my day or whatever that a problem comes up and I'm like, man, what the hell? What? No, what? Oh. Wait. Thank you. Thank you. And just kind of like, that's on a good day. That's on a day when I catch it in time to actually kind of head off the process of expelling it or rejecting it. And every once in a while, I'm present enough that something can come up like that, and I'll actually feel I'll feel a gratitude for it. I'll feel a sense of, oh, this is beautiful. This is amazing. This is exactly what I need. This is, and I have, the way that my experience has been recently, there's almost always a connection between any given problem, any individual thing coming up, and either a larger picture of a number of things that have that dynamic in it, and or something in my body. Like, I've been having this really interesting experience in my back, where there's something that is on the verge of opening up that has just, it's like I stretch it now and I'm like, oh, you've always been tight. You've been tight my whole life. I don't even know what it feels like to not have tightness in this spot in my back. And I mean, I do know what it feels like on a deep intuitive level, because my body keeps going, I want to open up. But I'm very, very accustomed. It's just so habitual that this tension just kind of sits right here and just kind of right hand side, kidney level down into the hip. And so physical tension almost always, if we're really paying attention, gets kind of subtle, but if we're really paying attention, things we're wrestling with in our relationships, in our whatever, career, work life, external, engaging with the world, parenting, whatever, domains of life that feel exterior to our body, they're almost always connected to something in the body. And as things in the body begin to unravel, these other things also start to kind of shake, and hopefully, tension is dissolving, and ailment, dis-ease is moving out. But and I don't catch all those correlations for sure. I wouldn't say that I track all of the connections there, but I certainly track some of them. I'm tracking some stuff recently about the work that I'm doing, and where I'm going musically, and what I'm discovering musically, some of the freedom I'm discovering musically, and this tension in my back, and some of the psychological tension around performing, also having a correlation to this physical tension. So again, that's not something that I would say I can give you an exhaustive diagnosis on. I get a pretty intuitive resonance when I'm working with someone. If somebody's working with me, I can often kind of connect those dynamics. If they're evident to me, if the person is sharing them. but as a practice within our own system, it's great to remember, we asked for this. We asked for these problems, right? Whatever it is, we have on some obviously deeper, soul karma level, asked for this. And B, connecting those experiences, internal, external, physical, psychological, emotional, just keeping an awareness. Again, you can't really force those connections, and it's probably not a good idea to just spitball it, because it'd be easy to kind of let our mind kind of go to town and unpack a bunch of, attempt to connect things that may or may not be connected. But if we just sit in, again, stillness, it always comes back to stillness, but if we are just sitting in stillness, that's when I usually find that something in the physical sensation, the physical impression in my physical body system is very analogous to something in the psychological system. If we're perceiving on an energetic level and we're willing to kind of be still, some part of us can remain still in the experience of life, then those impressions become very easy to associate. A psychological tension feels the same as a physical tension. Obviously not from a bodily point of view, but from an energetic point of view. There's a kinship, there's a parallel, there's just something that, oh yeah, that's what that is. And before you know it, we're working on the physical level, we're working on the emotional level, we're working on the psychological level, and then the work can really move. We can really kind of, we kick into another gear when those things aren't just kind of living in their own world and existing in a completely compartmentalized way. There's definitely something that happens when we get more holistic about it. So what's showing up today? It's exciting. It's fun to be leaning into that, and I'm always encouraged when I can consciously catch something like a problem and feel gratitude. It's a good feeling, not just because I'm engaging appropriately with the thing that's coming at me, but because I can mark my own progress and say, oh, this is the practice. I'm actually approaching life in a different way when I can receive my individual experiences in this way. So that's what I got today, folks. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow.